I don't know Geetsly's very well. They've done a few things, but I thought, why not have a look at, was this the horniest and most hedonistic species in the Star Wars galaxy? Talking about Zeltrons, although there's pictures of Twi'leks here. But let's see what he says, because I haven't watched much of his stuff either. Like I wasn't adding a heap of stuff. I like it, I can take it off if I don't like it.
Chances are, when we say Star Wars and sexy aliens, your mind immediately goes to the Twi'lek. As we've covered,
they're the most visual ones, yeah. You haven't seen Zeltrons in visual media as much. Sorry, I should say as TV shows and movies as much.
In a past video, Twi'leks were widely considered to be some of the most attractive humanoid species in the galaxy and were extremely popular choices for sex slaves. But they weren't the only humanoids whose sex appeal the galaxy appreciated. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Zeltrons, a humanoid species famous for their red skin, devilish good looks, and alluring personalities. This was the galaxy's horniest species.
Let's go. Oh, that's neat how he does his intro like the Battlefront 1 loading screen.
Zeltrons were a humanoid species native to the planet Zeltros in the Inner Rim. Although we say humanoid, they were actually near human. Only, they had differentiated from the baseline human genome enough that they were a different species rather than a subspecies, such as the Harpins. Appearance-wise,
there is another pronunciation of Harpins. Lock on. Harpin. Where does that come from? Why are there so many different ways people will pronounce Harpins?
Zeltrons were considered to be exceptionally beautiful by humans, near humans, and even some non-human species. They stood about 1.8 meters or 6 feet tall and lived up to 80 years. Their defining features were their skin, which came in many different shades of pink and red, and their hair, which was usually bright red or blue. Whenever they experienced intense emotions like anger, their skin would flush an even deeper shade of red. Moreover, most Zeltrons were in excellent physical shape, which added to their physical appeal. They could have stopped there and then and been satisfied with their appearance, but the Zeltrons were far too extra for that. They knew they looked good, and they did everything.
I can't get over this panel with the bloomin' hut. Look at the hut in this panel. Oh, Mr. King Awesome YT123, thanks for following and becoming a patron of the Cantina. Don't know why the alert decides not to work sometimes, but anyway.
Everything they could to accentuate their natural features. They dressed mainly in brightly coloured clothes, going for shocking neon colours, wild patterns, and crazy designs. Their attire was also designed to reveal as much as possible, with deep cleavages, skin-tight fabrics, or straight-up bikinis to put as much on show as possible. Now, you might be thinking that Zeltrons were attention seekers, and you'd be absolutely right. The Zeltrons' colourful appearance and extra personalities weren't the only...
I've disabled links in the chat because so many bots were coming in and then random people would come in, and especially one guy posted a very inappropriate video, and so I'm like, if someone's going to suggest a video to me, join the Discord and link it. And I can add it to the playlist if I look at it and go, that's something that I would want to react to. Otherwise, I don't know if that's particularly appropriate. I can look it up. Like, it's not, I don't know if it's in my wheelhouse anyway. Anyway, I'll continue.
Things that differentiated them from humans. They possessed two biological traits that led to their eccentric behavior. Now, the first of these biological traits were then...
And this is the Marvel comics when Luke's on Zeltros. And the Zeltrons were introduced in the Marvel comics. The old classic Marvel comics.
Natural pheromones Zeltrons gave off when in proximity to other beings, regardless of their species. These pheromones, similar to the ones the Foline effused, had multiple effects on other beings. One was the enhancement of the Zeltrons' perceived attractiveness and sex appeal, making them more desirable the longer one was exposed to them. A related effect was that, when exposed to these pheromones, they appeared more likable and pleasant to be around, which, coupled with their enthusiastic personalities and vivacity, made them incredibly popular. It was said that, even when meeting a Zeltron for the
Yeah, as I said, I blocked hyperlinks in the chat.
first time, they felt like a familiar face, an effect that was likely due to the pheromones. Finally, a less studied effect of the pheromones was their calming influence. As an example, Locerca Damaris, who was a resistance fighter, was able to calm down an angry Gagarin just by petting it. The second...
Plus, I've sort of gone, there's some people that have come in and just wanted me to react to videos, and they're just a random video, and I'm like, well, I'd kind of like the idea of if someone's in the chat a bit more, build a little bit of a rapport, and then something that they would see that's in my wheelhouse, or they're interested that I would react to a bit more, rather than just coming in first time chat. Can I react to a video, sort of thing.
Zeltron trait was their limited telepathic ability, which somewhat resembled force empathy. They could project their emotions onto other sentient creatures or read and experience what others were feeling. Given how useful this ability could be in manipulating others, many Zeltrons were hired by the exchange. Thanks to this unique combination of traits and skills,
Oh, look at that! The exchange, which was also in KOTOR.
Zeltrons excelled at influencing others' emotions, but they were also susceptible to their influence in turn. Surrounded by their kind, Zeltrons experienced a type of emotional echo chamber. They experienced emotions more strongly than other species, particularly when it came to
Party
those that
Planet
they loved.
people.
Their intense emotions were
I'm pretty sure that it was one of the source books or something that's called Zeltros, the Pleasure Planet. If Google wants to load, it didn't want to load for searching the other thing.
simultaneously a blessing and a curse, as they could be passionate lovers or fierce fighters when taken by anger or bitterness. Their propensity for rash action was why, from a very young age, Zeltrons were cautioned to be mindful of their emotions instead of letting them influence all of their decisions. The Zeltrons' natural empathy and pheromones were such an intrinsic part of their biology, they shaped the Zeltron societies into the most fun-loving, thrill-seeking in the galaxy.
Yeah, it's not loading for some reason. I don't know why.
If we had to pick one word to describe
my internet is a bit whack today.
Zeltron society,
Anyway.
it would be hedonistic. Think of it this way. If you were getting constant emotional feedback from everyone around you, wouldn't you want that feedback to be pleasant?
There's the Hoojeebs.
Zeltrons lived every day filled to the brim with their own and others' emotions. A natural consequence of this empathetic connection was that they emphasized positive feelings such as love, pleasure, and happiness, so that the echo chamber was filled with good vibes.
I don't remember where the echo chamber part comes from, like the whole telepathic link where they're an echo chamber of everything, but maybe that's mainly because I've just seen Zeltrons off Zeltros, and then I felt like the Marvel comics just typecast them. Phaline versus Zeltrons, if you want to go that far, because it's not just Shizor.
On the other hand, negative feelings were incredibly unwelcome. If they couldn't be corrected into a more positive feeling, the person would be shunned and pushed away from the collective so that they couldn't kill the vibe. Anything nice you could think of, they were obsessed with it. Their entire society only cared about having a good time. They were particularly obsessed with the ideas of love, romance, and sexuality. Romantic love was considered to be one of the most strongest, most positive emotions one could feel, so they sought it out wherever possible. They had a similar approach to sex, having as much of it as they could, with as many people as they could. The concept...
Aha, yes. Zeltros Pleasure Planet was a Wizards of the Coast role-playing game supplement. That's where I recognise the name from.
The concept of monogamy seemed cute to them, but incredibly limiting. Why limit yourself to one romantic or sexual partner when the galaxy had so much to offer? Zeltrons didn't just limit themselves to carnal pleasure, however. Quite the opposite. Anything that could produce a rush of excitement was fair game. Gambling was a favourite pastime, and groups of young Zeltrons often went out on the town together, feeding off each other's enthusiasm. Zeltron society went to great lengths to devise newer, brighter, better ways to have fun. such as the Hologram Fun World, which was a massive space station amusement park.
Oh yeah, Hologram Fun World's great.
The park applied hologram technology to create unique attractions like simulations of pleasant vacation spots or exciting make-believe scenarios. Sometimes, however, their ingenuity took a dark turn. Zeltrons also invented the elixir of infatuation, a colorless, odorless, and flavorless concoction.
Hey, where's that from? I'm gonna look it up on my phone because Google's working on my phone. I don't remember that. That looks like a 3D animation thing. Oh, it's in the Ultimate Alien Anthology. It's the only source. I guess their visual is just something. See, the Ultimate Alien Anthology... Ultimate Alien Playboy. Is also Wizards of the Coast expanding the lore. That's a lot. Deep cuts. That's good, though, that I'm checking it. But he should say a source on things. That's something I miss with him, too.
That caused its consumer to become instantly infatuated with the first person they saw. Gender, age, and species didn't matter, though any combination in line with the consumer's preferences made the infatuation even stronger. People under the influence of this elixir could be persuaded to do anything from petty crime to sexual acts. Yep, they actually invented a roofie drug.
Well, of course, roofies exist in real life. Why not have it in fiction?
Little buggers weren't living the thrill, they were commemorating it in their art. To celebrate life's many pleasures, the Zeltrons made art renowned for its aesthetics and beauty.
Okay.
Much of the subject material was raunchy, as you'd expect, which made it all the more
just
appealing
puts
to the
fan
galaxy.
art out there.
Their relentless pursuit of hedonism earned the Zeltrons a reputation as lazy thrill seekers. This was also, in our opinion, what differentiated them from the Twi'leks when it came to bed partners. Where Zeltrons thrived on pleasure and sought partners out voluntarily, Twi'leks were often forced into sex work. Overall, their attractiveness and eagerness made the Zeltrons highly sought after sex partners, and their enthusiasm made them excellent entertainers. Their homeworld, Zeltros, was
this is Star Wars Legacy, by the way.
widely considered the party planet of the galaxy. It was steeped in luxury, attractions, parties, and a constant celebratory atmosphere. Off-worlders were swept away by the excitement and the Zeltron's pheromones, often to the point where they never wanted to leave. And if anyone was ever dissatisfied, those around them did their best to ensure they enjoyed the amenities to their fullest. In fact...
They're Hiromi. This is issue 106 because the next one is all together now, and I think that was issue 107. The Hiromi were great. But yeah, they had 3 Zeltron blokes in part of fighting against the enemies there.
The atmosphere on Zeltros was so intoxicating that, on 3 separate occasions, when the planet was invaded, the invaders dug the vibe so much that they threw down their guns and joined the party. And there you have it. Whether the Zeltrons were gambling, hypnotizing invaders, or participating in orgies, they were always having a good time. Their lackadaisical approach to life and their enthusiasm made them some of the most magnetic people in the galaxy, and those who experienced the pleasures their lifestyle offered were smitten for life. But what do you think? When it comes to the galaxy's sexiest aliens, are you Camp Zeltron or Camp Twi'lek? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Whoa.